Thank you. Thank you. Okay, let's get on with the show. Welcome to Grand Valley's Performing Arts Hub, the Mitten Players. I'm Tim, and I'll be your guide. Whether you are part of the community or not, we welcome you to tag along. In this episode, I had the wonderful opportunity to speak with Nadina Hassan. From Ann Arbor, Michigan, this adventurous and talented actress has been involved in many different shows throughout the Great Lakes region. However, you may very well recognize her as the Queen Bee Regina George in last year's U.S. national tour of Mean Girls. What inspired you to do theater?
Yeah, I started when I was like 10 years old, maybe. I think I was about 10 years old. I did a musical version of the Lorax in 4th grade. And in the middle school, I was not very good. I really just wanted to follow in my sister's footsteps, who did. She was a beautiful classical singer, and she was taking voice lessons, and I just wanted to do everything she did. And I didn't really show any signs of real talent until I think 8th grade. And then I just kind of never stopped. I just fell in love with it, and playing roles that were unique and different and fun and commercial, not commercial. And Ann Arbor is amazing. I'm sure you know it's amazing for the arts community. There's so much going on there. There's community theater. There's the high school theater that's really, really, really well known. And of course, the Michigan Musical Theater program is there. So just access to all of those things. I think with, different mentors in the area, I just kind of grabbed at any opportunity I could in the area.
Before going to school, like going to college for theater, what was your favorite show you've been in?
Before college?
Before college.
Guys and Dolls. I played Sarah Brown when I was a junior in high school. And I just love that show. I want to do it again now that I'm like an adult. I want to do it again. I love that show. And it's so good to do too, because the ensemble is obviously huge. There's all of the gangsters and the mission people, and that's a really good one.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but you've done shows and workshops at the Wharton Center prior to Mean Girls, right?
No, so actually, I only have seen shows there. So my grandparents, on my mom's side, they lived in Okemos, and they had season tickets to the Wharton Center. And so since we were kids, they would take us to shows there. So I saw my first musicals there when I was a kid. So going back there it was really special. That was an incredible week.
Favorite musical?
In the Heights. And then I think also Tide is Band's Visit. That was a really emotional experience watching that show. I was crying the whole time. It was so good.
Your dream role in the future?
I have a lot of dream roles that exist now. Eliza in Hamilton, Jasmine in Aladdin, but I really want to originate something. And this isn't, I guess, technically original, but I would love to see Encanto on the stage. And I would love to be Mirabel in Encanto. So it's kind of original Broadway.
I feel like they've been talking about bringing Encanto on stage.
Just imagine, we don't talk about Bruno on the stage. They're all like a turntable. You can just see it now, can't you? The costumes, the color. I can see it all.
Yes. What are some non-musical theater album recommendations for 2023?
SZA's new album is amazing. It's a couple months ago with Demi Lovato's album. I think it's called Substance. Or no, I can't remember. Is it that? I can't remember what it's called. But her album from a couple months ago, amazing. She's amazing. I love her voice. I love their voice. I've been listening to Beyonce's album, and it's a little older. I'm not sure what's coming around the pipeline in 2023.
How did you book the Mean Girls national tour?
Yeah, so I moved home after college because the pandemic hit. So I had a couple months of Zoom school. And all my siblings and I lived at home again. It was so fun. We had such a full house. And I think it was June or July of 2021. I got a self-tape request. I had just been auditioning for my bedroom for a year and a half, doing nearly 100 auditions in my bedroom. It was amazing. And then I booked it. I did an initial self-tape out of my bedroom, and I didn't hear back from it. I was just, you do an audition and then you just forget about it because you just sort of let it go. You did your work, let it go. I didn't really think about it for a while, and then I got a callback request like a month later, maybe a month and a half later. It was a little while. I think they had to put their search out, and so I went in person to do my audition in New York. So I flew to New York, which was really fun. It was my first time auditioning in person since I think about 2 years at that point. Since then, it was in school, I guess, was my last time. And I did it for Casey Nicolau, our director was there, and so many of the casting team was there. And it was so much fun just having people like in front of you laughing after doing self-tapes for a year and not having any sort of like any kind of feedback, visual or audible or whatever. And I got to meet a bunch of them. And then I heard about 3 days later, I had flown home. So I was home by that point. It was like 3 days later. It was late August. And I wasn't allowed to say anything for about a month because they wanted to announce on October 3rd. So we had to wait. But yeah, it was a very secretive but exciting month. It was nice to have that time to kind of enjoy that privately with my family and my close friends and share that information, before everybody else knew. So that was exciting.
For sure. Favorite moment from the show? It can either be from you or just anything that happened in the show.
Favorite moment. I love watching. I don't get to watch the big group numbers much because I'm either changing. I'm not in them, of course, but I'm either changing or it's happening behind me and I can't see. So when I get to watch our incredible ensemble do their thing, it is astounding. I like to watch it roars at the beginning. Sometimes I'll get my wing on really quickly so I can run upstairs and go watch. I watch Fearless every night from the wings because I'm not in that one, but I have an entrance pretty soon after. So I get to like be in the wings and watch everybody. So there are select moments that I really just love to watch and enjoy as an audience member and as a fan of the show. So yeah.
What would be, or who would be your gender bend role in the show and why?
I think Damien. What a fun role. Oh my gosh, he's so hilarious. So hilarious and so unapologetically himself. I think that would be a really fun one.
Best way to keep your voice strong after a long night of singing, whether it be casually or professionally?
Yeah, I mean, we put our voice to the test in this job for sure. Just honestly, hydration, like overhydration. I drink a ridiculous amount of water. Electrolytes are really important to be able to absorb that water and get your sodium levels up. Humidifier, very important. I have a humidifier kind of everywhere I go. I have one in my huge one in my dressing room, one right by my bed, all that. A lot of sleep. Don't underestimate a good night of sleep. That'll really do a good thing for your voice.
For our viewers watching, why should people come see Mean Girls?
I mean, it is such a fun show. It's so uplifting, and people haven't seen a lot of shows in the past few years because we haven't been able to do any live theater. And it's funny, it's witty, it's relevant, it's relatable. Everybody's relatable, every character, which I love about the show because every single character is so different, and you may relate to one maybe stronger than the other, but they're all representing all of us. There's a facet of everybody in each of them. So I think everybody will have something to take away and enjoy from it. And not to mention the songs are so fun and catchy.
I mean, you said it better than I could. Any advice for future actors who want to take their theater training to the next level, but haven't due to complications throughout the pandemic?
That's a great question. Yeah, I mean, the pandemic definitely posed, a lot of different new challenges for young artists. I would say working on your self-tapes. And they don't require a lot of fancy equipment, but just how to translate your work in an efficient way on a screen. Because that is a new challenge, and a new thing we are going to take for the rest of forever with auditions. They're not going away, which personally I love. I love self-taping. I think it's convenient. It's nice for people if you're maybe in a different city for something. You can, like me, I can self-tape on the road. But yeah, just really kind of working on that and practicing that. It's easy to practice. You can just set up your phone and perform your audition song and watch it back. And like athletes do, they watch tapes of their games, like same sort of thing. Yeah.
How many songs would you recommend putting in your repertoire for auditions?
I don't know if there's a finite number. I think I have maybe 10 to 12 personally. I don't think there's totally a finite number, as long as you are very familiar with everything in your book, and whether that means that you use one song for everything and it works every time, or you have one for each kind, type of musical, genre of musical. I just would say familiarize yourself really well with those things, and make sure at any time if somebody asks you to do something, exactly what song comes to mind, that kind of thing.
One more question. Where can we find you on social media?
Oh yes, Nadina Hassan on Instagram. I think I'm Nadina Hassan on Twitter too. I'm playing up Nadina Hassan everywhere. You should be able to find me from Nadina Hassan. That's me. I don't know if there are many Nadina Hassan, so you'll probably find me.
The one and only Deans.
That's right. You take me in your